It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not even about us. It's about legacy. It's about what we choose to leave behind for future generations. And that's why, for the next year, and for the first time since 1974, the best and brightest men and women of nations and corporations the world over will pool their resources, share their collective vision to leave behind a brighter future. It's not about us. Therefore, what I'm saying, if I'm saying anything, is welcome back.
The work of a single organization, the Syndicate. A rogue nation, trained to do what we do, imbued with a new sense of purpose.
The Syndicate, you say? Yes, sir. That's what he calls it.
You're new here, aren't you?
So, I had a few words with B. Smith. Oh, she's got a nerve, that one.
There's only one place for Smith, under the thumb.
Hope I've got the thumb for it. What'd he do?
Tampered with one of the girls.
Oh, he'd be hard up.
What did they expect, putting a man in charge of female prisoners, and a man separated from his wife, too?
Like putting Dracula in charge of a blood bank. Now, look, we don't want her to see the positive side of prison at all.
If you could wear these at all times, please. Identification. They're fixed to the lapel, like so.
Oh, who picked the photo?
I did. Why?
Oh, Jim, there were half a dozen shots of me. This one's the worst one of the lot.
Well, if it frightens the prisoner, so much the better.
Keep Gillespie out of our hair.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't mind shooting him.
There's a rifle and cleaning gear in front of all of you. First thing we better do is to strip them down.
What precisely is the object of this? If there's a riot, we break out the rifles, then we pull them apart to frighten the prisoners.
What's the matter?
There might be half a dozen psychopaths waiting to stick knives in our ribs. Hold my hand, Vera.
Don't be ridiculous.
What are you and Smith hatching up between you now? A mass breakout? All right, Burns, you wanted in the governor's office. You've got a visitor.
Who?
Peter Hope. The governor wants to see you in her office, and that's an order.
When will that old rocker learn to leave me alone?
There's no way to talk about the governor.
Mrs. Powell has been made a senior officer.
Ooh.
And when she tells you to do something, you do it. Now.
Would you try not to be too harsh with the women in your attitude? You've always shown them understanding in the past. I wouldn't like you to lose that quality.
Mrs. Davidson, as union rep, I doubt whether my members will agree to such a scheme. What makes you think now Miss Bennett's gone things are going to be any easier?
Things couldn't get any worse, Mrs. Powell.
Well, I wouldn't bank on that.
I would like you to take over as acting chief prison officer, for the time being, at least.
Do remember, though, I have been around for a while. I know you all. Don't try and make a fool out of me.
As if we would.
Would we do that? Do you know what it means to be up in a charge? It means you lose all of your privileges. And on top of that, you may have extra time to spend in here.
No!
You're going to be sorry you did that for a long time to come.
Striking.
I didn't... A prison officer. In view of the extenuating circumstances, I'm willing to drop the charge.
I'm sure you made the right decision.
It wasn't really a decision, was it?
Whatever the rights or wrongs of the situation, you made the right decision.
If you say so, Mrs. Davidson.
Oh, I do.
Just arrest her for me. She deliberately attacked me.
You rotten little bitch.
You sadistic bitch! Now we know how you really were!
Now that's the one I owed you. This one's for now. I thought we could just get to know each other better.
Colleen, if I didn't know you better, I'd say you were making a pass.
Well, would that be so?
Hi, welcome to Turner Classic Movies. I'm Robert Osborne. I'm going to be your host right here as we present some of the best, the finest films ever made, 24 hours a day. We're going to be drawing not only from the great film libraries of MGM and Warner Brothers, but also from other outstanding film catalogs. So come join us and see not only great films and stars from the past, but also films from recent years featuring some of our newest and most watchable stars. And along the way, I'm going to be sharing some of my own memories of Hollywood, things I've seen and heard as a columnist with The Hollywood Reporter, things I've also discovered through personal friendships with some of the people who made the movies we all love. I think you're going to love Turner Classic Movies, and we're all going to be doing our best to keep you with us. Of course, there was really only one film that would do for the debut of Turner Classic Movies. It's a film most people would agree is probably the best movie ever made, certainly the most enduring, Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind. Boy, you say that name and it conjures up all sorts of images. Beautiful, headstrong Scarlett O'Hara, dashing Rhett Butler, Tara, the burning of Atlanta, the performances of Vivian Leigh and Clark Gable and Olivia de Havilland, Leslie Howard, the wonderful Hattie McDaniel. And never forget the man who brought it to the screen, producer David O. Selznick. Boy, Gone with the Wind is the stuff of which a legend was made. Nominated for 13 Academy Awards, it won 8 of them, including Best Picture of the Year. It's been seen by more people than any other film in history, and I don't think anyone who's seen it has ever come away untouched or unmoved. You know, a poll was once taken about Gone with the Wind, and guess what single element of the film was the one that attracted people the most? Not the epic size, not the Civil War background, not even the great performances. It was the love story which people said they enjoyed most about the film. But it's also a great story of survival, of course, survival in the face of war and devastation. Gone with the Wind was first published as a book in 1936. David Selznick bought the film rights for $50,000, a very tidy sum in those days. 3 years later, it was premiered in Atlanta on December 16, 1939. It was not an easy movie to make. There were countless screenwriters involved, including Sidney Howard and F. Scott Fitzgerald, even David Selznick himself. George Cukor started directing the film, but was soon fired, and he was replaced by Victor Fleming. And then Victor Fleming suffered a nervous breakdown, and another director, Sam Wood, took over. But it eventually was finished, and it certainly worked, and it worked beautifully. It was Selznick's baby, and it was also his crowning achievement. David Selznick made many films after Gone with the Wind, even some great ones like Rebecca and The Third Man, but boy, he never surpassed Gone with the Wind. In my opinion, no one has ever surpassed it. And here it is, exactly as it was shown in 1939, complete with an overture, an intermission, and intermission music, and also complete with a magic that, well, never been equaled. To properly introduce you to Turner Classic Movies, we're very proud to present the one.
33 years old, Brian, 6'6", 230 out of Arvada, California. He's had 11 years in the big leagues now. Former first-round pick back in '95 by Toronto, but this is his first postseason game.
Brandon Phillips leads off, and Roy Halladay about ready to cash in on something he's waited for his entire career. And away we go on a bouncing ball to Jimmy Rollins. Long pitch, one out. Long run for Victorino. 2 ball.
Game.
Votto bangs one out to Chase Utley. A 1-2-3 start for Roy Halladay in Philadelphia as Halladay strikes him out. Got it on his hands, a bouncer to Valdez. 2 outs. Former first-round draft pick, and a bouncer out to Chase Utley. And Roy Halladay picking them up and putting them down. 6 up, 6 down as we head to the bottom of the second. In the infield, who wants it? It'll be Valdez and Howard come together, and the much taller Ryan Howard makes a catch.
But they got to have some base runners.
That is a fair ball, and Ruiz makes the play on Hernandez. Gave up 9 hits and 5 runs. Driven into right field. Worth right there in San Francisco this year as Halladay strikes him out. 0-2 on Cabrera. Man, oh man. Roy Halladay locked and loaded here early. On the ground. Long throw from Rollins, and it is a good one. And he looks every bit ready here tonight as he backdoors Scott Rowland, the comeback sinker, as Halladay has Gomes in an 0-2 count. Three-2 pitch, and Bruce lays off. So the first base runner for Cincinnati comes with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Ball and 2 strikes. And a bouncing ball out to Rollins. Hitting over. Perfect game lost. No hitter still intact. 4-0 Phillies. As Ramon Hernandez sends one in the air. Jason Worth. And one away in the 6th. Back up the middle. Ranging over is Rollins in time. 2 away.
Not necessarily compliments to them, but made the staff that much deeper.
It is Jason Worth. And it's 6 innings of no-hit ball for Roy Halladay. Can he keep it going? 4-0 Phillies. A 3-2 count. And a bouncer out to Utley. Got it. Over to third. Here's Valdez. In time. 2 away in the 7th inning. 2 out, 7th inning. Got it. Roy Halladay. 7 no-hit innings. And you better believe it is Doctober time here in Philadelphia. And down goes Gomes. They'll have to secure it at first. No problem. 5 outs away from a no-hitter. Here's Jay Bruce, the only base runner of the night against Roy Halladay. He walked back in the 5th. Halladay's got it. 4 outs away. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th. In the air, Chase Utley. Nothing is routine at this point. Utley makes the catch, One gone. In the air. Over is Valdez with room. 2 outs. Halladay is 1 strike away. The 0-2. A bouncer. Ruiz. In time! Roy Halladay has thrown a no-hitter.